Now let's start writing our code. So we're going to start by declaring our variables. So the first variable, we're going to call it paint, and we're going to set it to false. As we said earlier, if this variable is set to false, we are not painting and we're not erasing. Okay, and that's exactly what happens when we just load the app. If we are painting or we are erasing, then this variable is going to be set to true. The next variable, we're going to call it paint underscore erase. Okay, and we're going to set it to paint when we load the app. So when this variable is set to paint, this means that if we are painting on the canvas, then we're going to be actually painting using the color input. And if we set it to erase, then we're going to be actually drawing a white line and erasing. Next, we are going to get the canvas. So we're going to define a variable canvas, and we're going to go to our canvas element. So in the HTML file, the canvas element has got an ID paint. So we're going to use that ID. So you're going to use the document getElementsById method, and the ID is paint. Okay. Okay, just doing some formatting. Okay, so now let's get the context. So we're going to create a variable context. I'm just going to call it CTX. Okay, as we have learned in Canvas, the context is going to get our context using the canvas and the getContext method. Okay, and we are getting the 2D context, so you're going to give it as a parameter 2D. So the context is going to be used to draw on the context. Okay, next we're going to get the container. Okay, so the container is going to be the container of the canvas, which is the element of ID container. It's our div container. So we're going to define a variable. Okay, I'm going to call it container, and simply we're going to use the jQuery selector using the ID of the element, which is container. Okay, and then we're going to set another variable for the mouse coordinates. So we're going to call it mouse. So it's going to be an object, and we're going to have two properties inside the object. We're going to have X and Y. So initially, X and Y are going to be set to 0. Okay. So X and Y refer here to the coordinates of the mouse inside the container. So if we're looking at the top left point of the container, the coordinates are going to be 0, 0. Okay. And if we are inside the container, X is going to be the distance between the left border of the container to the mouse, and Y is going to be the distance between the top border of the container to the mouse. Okay. So let's move to the next step. So when we load the page, we want to load any saved work from local storage. We're gonna skip this step for now until we write code for saving the canvas into an image, and then we're gonna come back to this step after that. So now let's go to the next step, which is setting the drawing parameters. So we're going to set the initial line width. So we're looking at the context, and we're going to be using properties of the context. So for the line width, it's going to be line width. And let's set that to 3, which is the initial diameter of our circle. Okay. Next, let's set both the line join and the line cap to round. Okay, just a quick reminder, the line join defines the join between two lines, and that's the line cap. All right. Okay. Now let's go to the next step, which is clicking inside the container. So we're going to access the container using the container variable, which is selecting the container using its ID. And the event here is going to be mouse down. So this function or method is going to take as a parameter a function. Okay, and let's write our code inside curly brackets. So first of all, once we click inside the container, we are going to set the variable paint to true, because you're going to be either painting or erasing. Okay. And let's alert this variable and check that this is working. So we're going to save. Now, if we click inside the container, we see the alert message there, and our paint variable is true. Let's delete this for now.